Hello, my name is Abbas Atieh. I will be talking about the exit interview by the memoir of Kristi Coulter. The biggest question, one of the biggest questions in this exit interview is what success really means, and what defines success and ethical decision making in a career. Throughout the book, Christina shows that success isn't just about promotions or money, but also about values, purpose, and her personal well-being. Her experiences show that ethical decisions often require balancing career ambitions with the type of life we want to live, and this is applicable not just to college students that are just graduating like us, but to every single person as well in this world that has maybe a career change or maybe is going into a different job position. This definitely has an effect for everyone, and it's applicable to everybody, and that's why it speaks volumes if somebody was to read this. Decision 1: Her accepting the Amazon opportunity. One major decision she faced that she didn't really, of course, everybody has, is that when you have stability and a paycheck, leaving a certain job, like when she left AMG to join Amazon, she knew Amazon had a demanding culture and that moving to Seattle involved a lot of uncertainty despite her fears, which a lot of people have. She chose to take the opportunity because she believed it would help her grow personally and professionally. This decision changed the direction of her career and everything about that entirely. Decision tool, both, and decision framing. This decision can be explained using both decision tool and decision framing. At first, she thought she had to choose between security and growth, which a lot of people usually do. They want stability and they would like to climb up the ladder. But eventually, she realized that accepting a new position didn't mean giving up everything she valued. She just learned that fear doesn't always mean something is wrong. It could be something good. Usually, when people go into sports like games, they usually have butterflies. They fear that maybe they have not practiced enough, which 100% I felt before as a former athlete, or maybe even going into a job, or maybe interviewing. Maybe you haven't interviewed long enough and you feel those butterflies and fear, and that sometimes growth requires stepping outside of your comfort zone, which she definitely is the embodiment of. For decision 2, the failed software project, which this was one of the biggest letdowns, I would say, or maybe some like a pivot or a stepping stone that she really needed. Another important came after a project failed because a software developer chose not to complete his work. Christina was frustrated because she believed clear expectation and deadlines should have been enough. However, she realized that leadership requires understanding of people as they are actually more rather how we think they should be. This experience changed how she approached leadership and how later on in the future what what she became and what she embodied when she became a future leader. And going back to her old company, this was something that was normal. These deadlines and this type of environment was normal. All the Everybody was onto deadlines, onto basically expectations, and nobody was really late when it came to this. So when that happened, it definitely shifted something within her. The decision tool, consequence based moral reasoning. This situation demonstrates the consequences based on moral reasoning. Instead of focusing on rules and expectations, Kristi learned to think about outcomes and motivations. She realized that effective leaders must understand how people behave and find practical solutions while still maintaining accountability and integrity. Nowadays in teams, that's the biggest thing, whether you're in sales, whether you're in marketing, whether you're in any type of service. If you could understand how people think and how they function and what truly gives them value and their morals, you will always succeed. It's not always about this kind of rule book in this business. It depends on how you can make someone feel during the job, after the job, with what they're doing, if they believe in it. This is what is really important in a business, in my wholehearted opinion. The last decision, the decision of leaving Amazon. After spending years building a successful career, Christina realized that professional success wasn't bringing her personal fulfillment. And that's how a lot of people usually feel. They think maybe when I hit the top of the ladder, I'm going to feel this type of fulfillment, and this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. But once they get to that kind of top, they understand that it wasn't what they really wanted, or maybe it wasn't really what they thought it was. Although Amazon gave her many opportunities, it also caused her stress, burnouts, and she decided to leave because she wanted a life that better aligned with her values and priorities. It was a difficult decision for her, but she felt like it was necessary, which a lot of people usually do, but a lot of people usually stay. And unfortunately, that's the regret, and it creeps up on them later on in the future. But she made a smart decision for not just for herself, but for her mental health and being. The decision tool and character-based moral reasoning. This decision reflects character-based moral reasoning because Christina stopped focusing on promotions and began asking what kind of person she wanted to become. A lot of people from the ages of 28 to around 42 don't really have necessarily big changes, but if they were to have big changes, that is a question they ask themselves, and that's what result you get in. She made a big pivot change and something very risky that not a lot of people would do because of the stability, the money, the title, the job, and kind of the repetition of every single day having to do the same thing, which is normal to them. Maybe if they don't like it, they'll still be doing it. That's not really what it's about. Maybe it's about filling a void, and if they don't do that, something's not right or you cannot function. She realized that success isn't measured by titles or money, but also integrity, happiness, and overall well-being. Sometimes protecting your values is more important than continuing to climb the ladder. 100%. Reading this book and understanding these concepts only strengthen what I really do want for the future in my career, and how her career shaped up, and maybe from the beginning she had this dream, and now she's kind of reached this dream, and now she's going back to exactly her roots. She's pivoting back to what she initially had in her heart, and that's what usually everybody does. Conclusion: the lessons learned. Overall, the exit interview taught me that success and fulfillment are not always the same thing. Leadership requires understanding people and making ethical decisions. I also learned that ambition should support a meaningful life rather than becoming someone's identity. As someone pursuing a career in business and finance, I want to continue growing professionally while staying true to my values and maintaining balance in my life. I think that's the biggest thing. If I just keep my value and keep balancing my life with family, hobbies, things I could do while still being able to earn a living, and have that professionalism in my career, I think that's all that really matters to me. I don't really care to ascend to the top, nor do I care to be at the bottom. Of course, I really would like to push myself to limits, but understand when I'm reaching too far, or when I'm trying too hard, or maybe I'm losing myself from within, trying to reach a certain thing that maybe would make me happy for very short term and not long term. Thank you once again for this. My name is Abbas Atieh. I appreciate your time.